Welcome, curious explorers, to our channel. Today we will explore 16 extremely unique prohibitions and strange things in Zambia, a beautiful yet mysterious East African country. Have you ever wondered why it's forbidden to throw coins at others in Zambia? Or how using the restroom in a church can get you arrested? Join me on this journey to discover these intriguing and somewhat unbelievable facts. No matter how urgent your need is in Zambia, you are never allowed to enter a church to relieve yourself, as you might risk getting arrested for doing so. In Zambian traditional culture, churches are considered sacred places that must be kept clean and respected. Therefore, using the restroom in a church may be seen as disrespectful to those praying or participating in religious ceremonies. If you need to use the restroom while at a church, it's best to seek out public facilities or use the restroom in your own home. Additionally, you should be aware of the specific rules and regulations of each church. Some churches may have their own rules regarding restroom usage, such as being gender-specific or only available at certain times. In summary, while the prohibition on using restrooms in churches in Zambia may not be a punishable offense, it is generally considered disrespectful and a violation of ethical standards. Therefore, it's advisable to use public facilities or the restroom in your own home to avoid cultural and sanitary issues. In Zambia, you'll find many bars and nightclubs where people can drink and enjoy themselves. But according to Chapter 180 of the Zambian Penal Code, any person found drunk in a public place and behaving in a disorderly manner shall be guilty of an offense. This prohibition was enacted after a series of incidents involving public drunkenness that led to violence and illegal behavior. Zambian police hope this measure will help reduce such incidents and create a safer environment for the public. However, this prohibition has also faced some opposition from the public. Some argue that it's too strict and infringes on personal freedom. Regardless, Zambian police affirm they will enforce this prohibition seriously. They also urge the public to cooperate and comply with regulations to ensure community safety. Prohibiting public intoxication is a stringent measure, but it may be necessary to maintain social order and ensure the safety of citizens. It's crucial for people to enhance their awareness of legal compliance and self-regulate their behavior to contribute to building a civilized and safe society. Zambia is quite hot, and shorts or skirts are always the top choice for girls, but it's crazy here because even the length of their underwear is regulated. Specifically, the prohibition on women wearing shorts less than 14 centimeters has sparked controversy in Zambia. Many argue that it's a restriction on women's freedom and discriminatory. This law applies to all women in public places, including schools, workplaces, and markets. Violating this law can result in fines or even imprisonment. Proponents believe excessively short shorts may attract unwanted attention and make women more vulnerable to attacks. However, opponents argue that it's a restriction on women's freedom and discriminatory. They believe women should have the freedom to choose their attire, and this law only makes them more susceptible to harm. Women are also advised against going out alone at night, which is another concerning issue. This shows that women are still considered vulnerable and need protection from men. The issue of the prohibition on women wearing shorts less than 14 centimeters in Zambia is a complex issue with many aspects to consider. If you don't want to be surrounded and attacked by locals in Zambia, remember to never throw coins at anyone in this country. In Zambia, throwing coins at others is considered a criminal offense and can have serious consequences. This regulation, specified in the Zambian Penal Code, reflects a unique effort to maintain social order and protect human dignity. The prohibition on throwing coins originates from a cultural belief that coins symbolize luck and prosperity. Throwing coins at others is seen as disrespectful, offensive, and can cause physical and psychological harm. This behavior can lead to conflicts, violence, and social disruption. The prohibition on throwing coins aims to encourage civilized behavior and mutual respect among individuals in Zambian society. Instead of expressing anger or dissatisfaction by throwing coins, people are encouraged to use more effective and peaceful communication methods to resolve conflicts. This regulation also contributes to protecting individual freedoms and ensuring safety for everyone. Throwing coins can cause anxiety, fear, and impact the mental well-being of those targeted. This prohibition helps prevent violent behavior and creates a safer environment for all. In addition to enforcing legal regulations, the Zambian government also implements educational programs to raise awareness about the importance of mutual respect and peaceful conflict resolution. Combining legal and educational measures is essential to building a more civilized and orderly society. The prohibition on throwing coins in Zambia is a unique example of how a country uses legal measures to protect culture, maintain social order, and ensure the safety of its people. This regulation demonstrates the commitment of the Zambian government to building a civilized and respectful society. If you come across any shop selling dog meat in Zambia, you can immediately report it to the police to protect the dogs. In this country, the police are always strict with those who dare to trade dog meat. The sale of dog meat still occurs underground in some areas, especially in impoverished areas. Consuming dog meat is also considered part of the culture and tradition by some people in Zambia. There are conflicting opinions regarding the prohibition on dog meat sales. Supporters of the ban argue that slaughtering and consuming dogs is a cruel act towards animals and poses health risks to humans due to poor hygiene conditions during slaughter and processing. They also argue that the sale of dog meat contributes to dog theft, posing a threat to community security. However, opponents of the ban argue that it infringes on people's freedom of food choice and may have negative economic impacts on the local economy, especially for those who rely on selling dog meat to make a living. They also argue that focusing on banning dog meat sales may divert attention from other important issues, such as poverty and food insecurity. The issue of banning dog meat sales in Zambia is a complex issue with ethical, economic, and social aspects that need to be considered. Finding a balanced solution to protect animals, community health, and individual freedom is necessary. If you or your companions belong to the LGBT community, I urge you to immediately abandon any plans to visit Zambia, as it is too dangerous. Zambia is a southern African country with conservative laws and culture, where the LGBT community faces many difficulties and discrimination. Although there is no direct law prohibiting same-sex relationships, the Zambian Penal Code stipulates that unnatural offenses are illegal and punishable by up to 14 years in prison. This leads to LGBT people in Zambia living in fear, hiding their identities, and enduring discrimination from the community. They often face discrimination in areas such as education, employment, and housing. Furthermore, violence and harassment against LGBT people are also common in Zambia. They are frequently attacked, bullied, and even killed. Discrimination and prejudice against LGBT people in Zambia have negative impacts on their mental and physical health. They often experience stress, anxiety, and depression. The LGBT community in Zambia is striving for their rights. They organize awareness campaigns, policy advocacy, and mutual support. However, the road ahead is still challenging. It requires the collective effort of society to eliminate discrimination and prejudice against LGBT people in Zambia, creating a safe and respectful environment for everyone. We've just heard about Zambia's conservative laws regarding LGBT people, but surprisingly, in this seemingly outdated and conservative country, they are very proactive in environmental protection, even leading the world in banning the use of plastic bags. Since January 2019, Zambia has issued a nationwide ban on the use of plastic bags to protect the environment. This ban applies to all types of plastic bags, including shopping bags, garbage bags, and nylon bags. The ban on plastic bags is strictly enforced. Even tourists visiting Zambia must adhere to this regulation. If caught using plastic bags, tourists may be fined up to 200,000 Zambian kwacha, approximately $130 USD. To avoid fines, tourists should bring alternative environmentally friendly bags, such as cloth bags, paper bags, and baskets when visiting Zambia. These bags can be easily purchased at local grocery stores, supermarkets, and markets. Additionally, tourists can also bring reusable plastic bags. However, it's important to note that plastic bags must be washed clean and air-dried before use. The ban on plastic bags in Zambia may cause some inconvenience to tourists, but it's an important measure to protect the environment. Tourists should comply with this regulation to contribute to environmental protection and sustainable tourism in Zambia. With the cooperation of tourists, Zambia can become a more environmentally friendly tourist destination. Have you ever worn a police or military uniform for Halloween? Don't bring it with you to Zambia. According to the Zambia State Security Act, any person not lawfully authorized to use or possess, import, or manufacture any uniform of the defense force or police, or any other official uniform or garment closely resembling that uniform, with the intent to deceive or falsely represent himself as entitled to wear any such uniform, shall be guilty of an offense and liable to be sentenced to imprisonment for a term not less than 15 years. This prohibition has received mixed reactions from the Zambian people. Some support the ban, believing it will help prevent crime and protect citizens. Others oppose the ban, arguing that it violates personal freedom and will create difficulties for those working in professions related to police uniforms, such as actors or security personnel. The Zambian government has stated that they will strictly enforce this ban and prosecute anyone who violates it. They also urge citizens to cooperate with the authorities and report any violations they witness. Although the law may seem very stringent, it is actually beneficial for the security of this nation. Criminals may use police uniforms to impersonate law enforcement officers and deceive the public. This ban will help minimize the risk of fraud and crime. When people see someone wearing a police uniform, they often believe that person is a legitimate law enforcement officer. This ban will help people easily distinguish genuine law enforcement officers from imposters. Although Zambia is a democratic country, as a tourist visiting Zambia, one should refrain from commenting on political issues. According to Zambian law, insulting the president is a serious offense that can lead to imprisonment for up to 3 years. This law aims to protect the honor and reputation of the head of state, as well as prevent the spread of misinformation or incitement to violence. Therefore, tourists should steer clear of political discussions while in Zambia, especially in public places. Focus on enjoying the culture and scenery of the country, instead of engaging in sensitive issues that could cause trouble for oneself. Additionally, tourists should respect the local culture and customs, avoiding making disrespectful or offensive remarks about the people or government of Zambia. Remember that you are a guest in another country and should behave in a polite and respectful manner. Adhering to local laws and refraining from engaging in any politically related activities will help ensure a safe and enjoyable trip to Zambia. If you want to encounter all the big 5 animals of Africa, you simply need to go to Zambia. The 5 big animals, lions, elephants, leopards, rhinos, and Cape buffaloes reside here. South Luangwa National Park in eastern Zambia is a protected area dedicated to these animals. This place is considered a paradise for those passionate about exploring the wilderness. With an area of over 9,500 square kilometers, South Luangwa National Park boasts a diverse ecosystem, being the habitat of over 60 species of mammals, 400 species of birds, and countless other reptiles and amphibians. All of the big 5 African mammals can be found in South Luangwa National Park. Tourists can participate in safari activities by jeep, long-distance walking, or boating on the Luangwa River to witness the magnificent moments of wild animals in their natural habitat. In addition to South Luangwa National Park, Zambia also has many other natural reserves that are home to the big 5 African mammals, such as Liwa Plain National Park, Lower Zambezi National Park, and Luangwa Valley Game Management Area. Tourists can choose to explore these places for more exciting experiences in their Zambia travel journey. However, tourists should note that visiting wilderness areas always entails certain risks. Therefore, tourists should follow guided tours with experienced guides, adhere to safety regulations, and always maintain a safe distance from wild animals. With its diverse ecosystem and rich wildlife, Zambia promises to offer tourists unique and unforgettable experiences in exploring the wilderness. You and your friends just learned that Zambia indeed has a vast array of wildlife. However, when visiting this place, never heed the advice of wrongdoers and engage in hunting activities. According to the regulations of the Zambian government, tourists are completely prohibited from participating in hunting activities within the national territory. This regulation is put in place to protect the rich and precious ecosystem of Zambia's wildlife, and to promote sustainable ecotourism. There are several reasons for banning tourists from hunting. Firstly, indiscriminate hunting can lead to a severe decline in the population of various wild species, causing ecological imbalance and affecting biodiversity. Secondly, hunting activities may pose risks to both tourists and local residents. Gun accidents, as well as the spread of infectious diseases from animals to humans, are potential dangers that need to be eliminated. Instead of engaging in hunting, tourists visiting Zambia can experience many other interesting activities to explore the wilderness without harming the environment. Tourists can participate in jeep safaris or trekking in wildlife reserves, where they can observe animals in their natural habitat. Additionally, tourists can also engage in activities such as kayaking, fishing, and camping in designated wilderness areas. Number 5. Home to the most magnificent waterfall in the world. When mentioning Zambia, one cannot forget about Victoria Falls, the natural wonder dubbed the Jewel of Africa, and the most magnificent waterfall in the world. This place is a testament to the extraordinary power of nature. attracting tourists from all over the world with its magnificent and majestic beauty. Located on the Zambezi River, Victoria Falls spans 1,788 meters wide and 108 meters high, creating a roaring cascade like thunder, spraying white foam and creating an incredibly spectacular scene. The fierce sound of rushing water mixed with the whistling wind creates a magnificent symphony of nature, leaving tourists awestruck and amazed. Moreover, Victoria Falls is home to a diverse ecosystem with many rare plant and animal species. Tourists can participate in various exciting activities such as kayaking on the rapids, walking along the riverbank to admire the majestic natural scenery, or even bungee jumping from a height of 111 meters to experience the thrill. However, tourists should note that participating in tourist activities at Victoria Falls needs to be done safely and responsibly. Tourists should adhere to the area's regulations, protect the environment, and avoid littering to help preserve the pristine beauty of this natural wonder. With its magnificent and majestic beauty, Victoria Falls deserves to be a destination not to be missed in any tourist journey to explore Africa. Come and witness the extraordinary power of nature, immerse yourself in the majestic space, and experience exciting activities in the gem of Zambia. Number 3. Entirely landlocked. Zambia is famous for its vast wildlife reserves, magnificent waterfalls, and unique culture. However, what sets Zambia apart from many other African countries is its entirely landlocked geographical location. Being landlocked gives Zambia unique characteristics, creating a distinct attraction for tourists. Instead of romantic beaches, Zambia boasts vast freshwater lakes, a rich system of rivers, and dense tropical forests. This is an ideal habitat for many rare wild species such as elephants, lions, giraffes, and antelopes. Tourists visiting Zambia can participate in safari trips to observe these animals in their natural habitats. Furthermore, Zambia has a system of magnificent waterfalls, such as Victoria Falls, the great waterfall we just mentioned. Although landlocked, Zambia still offers fascinating underwater tourism activities. Tourists can participate in kayaking or boating along the Zambezi River, sunbathe on the banks of Lake Kariba, or explore the islands on the Luangwa River. The unique geographical location has created a distinctive Zambia with its own features. Visiting Zambia, tourists will have the opportunity to experience new and exciting things, immersing themselves in the majestic wilderness of this land. Number 2. Home to the largest man-made lake in the world. Zambia proudly boasts being home to the largest man-made lake in the world by volume, Lake Kariba. This gigantic water body stretches across the border between Zambia and Zimbabwe, covering an area of 5,580 square kilometers and holding a water volume of up to 185 cubic kilometers, 4 times that of the Three Gorges Dam in China. The formation of Lake Kariba is closely associated with the Kariba Dam, the largest hydroelectric project in Africa, built in the 1960s, which blocked the flow of the Zambezi River and created this massive artificial lake, providing abundant energy for both Zambia and Zimbabwe. Lake Kariba not only plays a crucial role in the economy, but is also a famous tourist destination that attracts visitors from all over the world. Tourists can participate in many exciting activities here, such as boat tours on the lake, where they can admire the majestic natural scenery of Lake Kariba, with its scattered small islands and surrounding mountain ranges. Fishing is also an interesting activity, as Lake Kariba is home to many freshwater fish species, including giant fish such as Zambezi bream and tigerfish. Tourists can join fishing tours to try their hand at catching these fish. Lake Kariba is a unique and attractive tourist destination, offering unforgettable experiences. Come and explore the majestic beauty of the world's largest man-made lake. Number 1, with up to 72 languages. If you want to communicate with all the people of Zambia, that is indeed a very challenging task, as this country has up to 72 languages used by different ethnic groups, creating an extremely rich and unique linguistic landscape. English is the official language of Zambia, used in administrative communication, education, and media. However, English is not the mother tongue of the majority of Zambians. In addition to English, 7 local languages are commonly used and taught in schools, including Bemba, Kaonde, Lunda, Lala, and Tonga. These languages play an important role in the cultural and communicative life of the local people. Bemba is the most widely used language spoken by over 30% of Zambia's population, primarily in the northern and northeastern provinces. Nyanja is the second most widely used language, spoken by over 20% of Zambia's population, mainly in the southern and central provinces. The diversity of languages in Zambia is evidence of the rich culture of this country. Each language carries within it cultural and historical values, contributing to the unique identity of Zambia. Tourists visiting Zambia can experience this linguistic diversity by communicating with local people, participating in traditional cultural festivals, and learning some basic phrases in the local languages. Exploring the language and culture of Zambia will provide tourists with interesting and unforgettable experiences, helping them understand more about the people and the country.